nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
The anthem that we had before gives us those ingredients that will empower us.
House passes bill seeking to adopt old national anthem.
But their effort to encourage pre-treatment have not fully realized.
Lawmakers back free medical treatment for pregnant women in public health facilities. Glad to have you join us on yet another fresh package of House Tickets, your regular educative program highlighting the activities of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. On this package, lawmakers urge the federal government to allow pregnant women to have access to free medical treatment from public health institutions during and after delivery. In other unfolding events, the 10th House has given expeditious passage to a bill to reinstate Nigeria's old national anthem. These, amongst other reports, make up our program. Details in a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hi, about that again. The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Thanks for staying tuned. House Ticket starts with a highlight of bills and motions considered on the floor of the House.
And uphold her honor and glory.
Thursday, 23rd May 2024, the House gave expeditious passage to a bill for an act to provide for the national anthem of Nigeria and for related matters. An executive bill, it stood in the name of the House leader, Professor Julius Ihonvere. In leading the debate, the majority leader stated that the time has come for Nigeria to reflect on the past, present, and forecast the future by looking at the national anthem as a national symbol of unity.
You will not know the value of diversity, strength in diversity, vision in diversity, commitment in diversity, sacrifice in diversity, brotherhood in diversity, and the desire to achieve and make a nation better than it currently is. I urge my colleagues to rise beyond emotion, to rise beyond the status quo, to rise beyond the sentiments, to recognize the fact that the anthem that we had before gives us those ingredients that will empower us, give us the spiritual, psychological, political, economic, social, cultural ingredients we need to push ahead as a nation and take our rightful place in the Committee of Nations.
The bill was debated.
Is this very important at this particular juncture in our national life? What value would it add to us as a nation? I think that these questions need to be answered. Nigerians are looking up to us for more fundamental issues that will cause proper change. Like Prof took us to history lane, that great men make history. What is the history that we're about to make?
Let's be realistic. How this one will support the government to stop either hunger, banditry, or improve insecurity. To us, let's do what is beneficial to the common man, and this honorable chamber is the only, for now, standing on a formidable force, a point for the common man of Nigeria. So Nigerians are looking up to us. I concur with the minority leader, let's look up something that will bring a development in the eyes of the international community to Nigeria.
We are all aware that the national anthem we have been singing is not what we have been practicing as Nigerians. You say, arise, O compatriots. Are we patriots? Who are the compatriots? Are we patriotic? Do we normally place our national interest against our individual interest? All these questions are supposed to be answered in as much as this current national anthem is working.
The bill was voted on, approved for second reading, and referred to the Committee of the Whole.
Committee of the Whole to consider this bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The House in the Committee of the Whole then considered the bill clause by clause.
Revert to the old anthem in order to provide a clearer, more direct, more inclusive, more encompassing sense of purpose and sense of nation to Nigerians in the interest of all Nigerians and the country.
In summary, the House voted, amended and approved clauses 1 to 10 of the bill. The House then reverted to plenary and adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole, and to expedite action, the bill on the same day was brought up for third reading.
I rise to move that the House will suspend the relevant rules to enable us to take the third reading of this bill. I so move.
The House then voted on the bill, read for the third time and passed.
Bill read the third time and passed.
In other matters, the House considered motions bordering on food security, free healthcare for pregnant women, amongst other infrastructural motions. Let us get details of these other events in our next report, as compared and presented from the studios.
Creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our...
On Tuesday, 21st May 2024, Representative Abdulsamad Dasuki moved a motion on the need to waive toll gate fees in Nigerian airports for members of the armed forces.
Members of the armed forces are subjected to paying access to airports, where they are also expected to protect citizens and foreigners alike, whether or not they are on duty and even while they are passengers themselves. Also concerned that their services, through renominated, cannot be quantified, especially when the risks to them and their dependents are considered. Therefore, we should not be hesitant to show them in our little way that we see them and we acknowledge their sacrifices. Worried that unless we are intentional in showing our appreciation to them by extending privileges like the proposed exemption, our nation will appear to underrate their services and lack knowledge of the value they bring.
Representative Dasuki called on the Minister of Aviation to direct the relevant agencies to ensure waiver of such parking levies and toll fees on the members of the armed forces, and that the House Committee on Aviation should ensure compliance. The motion was voted on, adopted as amended, and referred to the House Committee on Aviation.
You should say aye. Those against should say nay. There is it.
Another matter of urgent public importance that came up during plenary on Wednesday, 22nd of May 2024, was titled Rice Production Crisis as an Imminent Threat to National Food Security. The motion was moved by Representative Aminu Jamo.
The shortage of paddy rice for rice milling companies resulting in the shutdown of 80% of these companies. Also note the suspension of key interventions like the Ankobra program, therefore limiting access to farm inputs for farmers. Alarmed that the cost of fertilizer and herbicides has risen drastically, making only hiring a hectare of land increase from 30,000 to 100,000. Worried that this could lead to food shortage and threaten national food security, further worsening security, and concerned that the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has not arrested the situation despite huge budgetary allocation for various interventions.
In his prayers, the lawmaker called on the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services to investigate the circumstances and report back to the House within 2 weeks and that urgent measures should be put in place to avert the threat of food insecurity. The Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, also lent his voice to the motion.
He has highlighted very important aspect of our economy, which is food security, and is the number 2 or thereabouts in the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. And he's raising the consciousness now that there's an emergency situation that the nation must address. And if it's not done, that price of rice might get up to 100,000 per bag. That rice millers are not having paddy to mill. So most rice mills are empty because they don't have the raw materials. It calls for urgent intervention.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services.
And they are meant to report back to the House within 2 weeks.
For motions on the order paper, Representative Midala Usman Balami moved a motion on rehabilitation of Biu Garkida Adamawa Road in Askira Uba Haul Federal Constituency.
The current state of the Biu Garkida Adamawa Road is likely to worsen with the onset of the rainy season, further increase the risk of accident and hampering transportation of goods and services. It is critical to address this issue promptly to avoid further loss of lives and economic stagnation. Worried that despite being awarded for construction and rehabilitation in 2020, the road project has not received the necessary attention and resources, leading to continued degradation and significant challenges for commuters and businesses in the region.
The House then resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Works to prioritize rehabilitation of Biu Garkida Adamawa Road without delay to safeguard lives, support economic growth, and enhance transportation infrastructure in Askira Uba Haul Federal Constituency and the Northeast Sub-region. Mandate the Committees on Works and Appropriations to allocate funds for the rehabilitation of Biu Garkida Adamawa Road in the 2025 budget estimates, and also mandate the Committees on Works and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Being an infrastructural motion, the motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committees on Works as well as that on Legislative Compliance.
You say aye. Those against you say nay. The ayes have it.
Representative Mohammed and Abba Shehu also moved a motion on the need to allow pregnant women to access free medical treatment from public health institutions during and after delivery. This was on Wednesday, 22nd May 2024.
The government established public health care institutions to provide medical services to humanity with available supply drugs equipped with modern medical facilities and charged with the responsibility of handling healthcare related matters, which was not restricted to the pregnant women in the nation, but their effort to encourage pre-treatment have not fully realized.
The resolutions were to urge the Federal Ministry of Health to issue the directives enabling free medical treatment for pregnant women during and after delivery in public health care institutions and implement routine checks to ensure continuity, compliance by medical personnel, and sustainability of childbirth processes, and mandate the Committee on Healthcare Services and Healthcare Institutions to invite the Minister of Health to propose a solution to this innovative trend and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to the House Committee on Healthcare Services as well as that on Healthcare Institutions.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The House also considered and passed several bills at second reading, one of which was sponsored by Representative Tasir Olawale Raji, titled A Bill for an Act to Amend the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Acts to remove spouse from the list of persons required to declare their assets and for related matters. Representative Raji, in leading the debate, stated that the bill seeks to amend sections 15, subsection 1c, and 23, subsection 7 of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act. This, he stated, is to ensure proper accountability of assets and liabilities of the officer, his or her spouse, as well as unmarried children under the age of 21. The lawmaker added that the provisions will promote accountability and protect public officers from embarrassing situations that may arise from negligence.
The implication of the above provision is that a person to whom this law applies is mandated to declare the assets of his spouse as stipulated in the Act. In addition, such a person is also mandated to attest the correctness of the information provided before a High Court judge. The effect of this provision is that the declarant is liable where the information provided is false, incorrect, or incomplete.
The area that I think we should look at more critically is the age limit. Here we have age limit of 21 years, whilst ordinarily at 18, you become matured and independent. So I think that that should be considered, perhaps at the public hearing and the committee stage.
The bill was voted on, approved, and referred to the House Committee on Anti-Corruption.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Meanwhile, 45 bills were presented for first reading in the week under review. They include Federal Housing Authority Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Aminu Balele; Medical Physics Regulatory Council of Nigeria 1999 Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Ibrahim Aliyu; Marriage Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Abubakar Yahaya Kusada; Public Procurement Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Murphy Omori; Chartered Institute of Capital Market Registrars Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Ali Adeyemi Taufik.
If you just tuned in, the program is House Ticket, an educative program on the workings of the legislative arm of government in Nigeria. We just took a summary of plenary proceedings where critical legislations were made on several matters amongst other national issues, these being a key function of the lawmakers. Moving on, a one-day workshop on enhancing effective legislative oversight of national security and intelligence sector in Nigeria held last week, precisely on Monday, 21st of May 2024. The event, which held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, was organized by the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence.
Today's event comes at a critical time.
Speaker Abbas Tajuddin, while delivering his address at the workshop, said legislative oversight serves as a critical mechanism for holding government institutions accountable, ensuring transparency, and safeguarding against abuse of power. He pointed out, however, that despite the constitutional mandate of oversight, there are several challenges that impede the effectiveness of legislative scrutiny over the national security and intelligence sector in Nigeria, saying that one of the challenges was limited capacity and expertise among lawmakers.
The nature of national security and intelligence operation often involves classified information, intricate technologies, and sensitive strategies. This complexity can pose challenges for legislators in comprehensively understanding and evaluating these matters during oversight activities. Inadequate allocation of resources. The other problem is poor and inadequate funding of committees' engagement. Insufficient funding limits our ability to conduct thorough investigations and assess to necessary expertise. Again, the culture of secrecy surrounding national security can sometimes lead to resistance or interference when legislators attempt to exercise their oversight responsibilities.
The Speaker also noted that robust oversight mechanisms are essential to prevent abuse of power, protect civil liberties, and safeguard national interest, while noting that without proper checks and balances, there is a risk that these agencies may operate unchecked, potentially leading to violations of human rights or misuse of resources. In his remarks, Chairman House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Representative Ahmed Satomi, said that the House of Representatives, through the committee, has begun engagement with all security, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies for effective oversight.
The committee pursuant to its mandate of oversight in all matters relating to any organization or agency established by law for ensuring the security of the Federation, we invite all security, intelligence, law enforcement, paramilitary agencies, etc., to the security roundtable to discuss the general state of affairs of the security and intelligence sector in Nigeria, with a view of recommending practical solutions among other objectives. This interface will hold at least once in a quarter.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, who was represented by the Director of Communications, Major General Samad Akeshode, noted that the national security sector plays a pivotal role in safeguarding the national peace, stability, and development. He emphasized that effective oversight is not just a regulatory necessity, but a fundamental pillar in ensuring transparency, accountability, and trust within the sector.
This workshop could not have come at a better time, considering the current drive by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief to set the nation on a renewed progressive trajectory. This is in addition to the efforts of the Office of the National Security Advisor and other stakeholders who continue to spearhead a renewed invigoration on the nation's security and intelligence architecture. This workshop is therefore timely, and the scope is comprehensive, relevant, and apt.
Stakeholders also made their presentations at the workshop.
Effective oversight foster public confidence and trust in our national security institutions, which is essential for maintaining stable and secured environment. Achieving these goals requires robust collaboration between the legislative and the executive arms of government. Both branches play a crucial role in shaping and implementing security policies that are transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of the people.
Today's workshop is a platform for dialogue, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. It is an opportunity for us to explore innovative strategies and best practices in oversight. I encourage all participants to engage actively, share our experiences, and learn from one another. Our collective wisdom and concerted efforts are vital to enhancing the effectiveness of our oversight mechanisms. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, let me take the opportunity to reassure you of the commitment and readiness of the NFIU to work with you. It is clear for us that the challenges of ensuring the security of our nation is one that requires the commitment, contribution, and cooperation of all of us.
We believe in the DSS that cooperation, partnership, and liaison is a key factor in enhancing legislative oversight. And you can be sure that we have always opened our doors to your investigative assignments.
Here now we end the program House Tickets. Many thanks for being a part of the program as always. We'll meet again next time with more updates on the activities of our lawmakers in the House of Representatives. Until then, do stay safe.